The Experience Pros Radio Show, home of the original Fan Braggin' Fridays. Take just 20 seconds to become a business revolutionary by sharing a Fan Braggin' story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Braggin' hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG, FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for ours. And joining us here in the studio, sitting in for Angel, is our good friend Lynn Hurlburt. Lynn, how are you?
So let's see, angels and angels. So does that make me the devil?
No, I would not say that ever. No. But welcome. Thank you so much for sitting in for her. Grateful for you. And on the phone with us is one of our regular monthly contributor hosts, Heather Schooler. You may know her as the money librarian. She knows how to handle and manage your money and can encourage and engage you in how to build your business through sound advice as well. Heather, how are you, my friend?
I am doing well. How are you guys doing today?
Is it still cold back there, Heather?
It was 50 like 2 days ago, and now we're back in the 20s. So it's
back in the 20s.
Yeah.
You know, you got that lake effect snow and all the things that go along with it out in Chicago, and we certainly can relate to that. We're on a warm trend here, but it's going to be cold again soon. Heather, I'm excited to talk to you today because you're going to give us some advice. And if I could just do my very best to imitate Angel for just a moment, she loves to tell a joke. Lynn, sometimes you get tired, right?
Yes.
You know what?
What?
There's a nap for that.
Oh, I don't take naps.
You know, you don't.
But I like apps.
All right. So, Heather, we're going to talk about, there's an app for that,
there
right?
You go.
Absolutely.
Talk to us about what's on your mind for today.
Well, it's January, and one of the things that business owners think about in January is how can I do a better job this year so that when tax time comes next year, I'm not scrambling to get ready like I did last year. And what I want to tell all the business owners out there is there's an app for that.
So let me confess, I need this probably more than anybody you know, Heather. I'm horrible about keeping receipts, but recently, because I've taken on a little side hustle, and it's driving for one of the rideshare companies, and I realized that I need to keep my gas receipts because they are gold to me. I now have a pile of gas receipts. Is there an app that can help me?
There are quite a few, actually. And if you are a business owner that's a QuickBooks user, QuickBooks now has caught up with the rest of the crew, and they offer you the ability to take a photo snapshot of your expenses and then use that to log it directly into QuickBooks. But if you're not a QuickBooks user, you can use an app. One of my favorites is called Hurdler. It's actually spelled HURDLR, so there's no E. But that app also allows you to take snapshots of your expense receipts, and it also will track your mileage for you as long as your GPS locator is on in case you use mileage versus gas for your receipts.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it,
I use, use is probably not the right word. I use an app called Mile IQ.
That's a real popular one, Mile IQ, but it's limited to mileage. And for those who travel or have employees that travel, they're going to need something a little bit more robust than that.
I agree with you 100%. And here it comes. Tax day is coming, and I still haven't collected all the information. I'm bad about that. All right, Heather, what other great apps are there that will help us kind of aggregate our expenses and businesses?
Well, I would say that if you're a business owner and you have employees, I would make sure that you examine the app to make sure that it takes care of employees and not just you as an individual. So there's a couple of great apps out there that will do that. And I just want to make sure that when people are looking at the apps, if they have employees that are out there traveling on business, that they make sure that they note that the app is usable by many people in their organization and not just the individual. If it's just the individual, you could use QuickBooks, you could use Hurdler, or you could use a personal tracking app. Any of those will work. There's an app by MyEcon that works as well, that will allow you to track not only your mileage again, but any expense, whether it be airfare, just going, have a meeting at Starbucks and getting a coffee or buying someone dinner. It allows you to track all of your expenses in one place.
Heather, do we have to prove that there was somebody at Starbucks that we were actually talking to?
As a note, what I typically would do is write the name of the person that I'm meeting with on the receipt. So that way, when I take a picture of it, I have a copy of not only the receipt, but the person that I met with in case it should ever come up if you were audited for IRS purposes.
All right. That makes a lot of sense. This is good stuff.
This is.
Now, we've talked about the individual, the apps that serve the individual. Are there specific apps that handle the employees and the groups?
Yeah, there's a couple of apps that handle employees and the groups, and I'm gonna and you know my brain is just freezing right now, and I'm not thinking of exactly what the name of the one I want to recommend, but there are quite a few good ones.
Come back because we're recording this on our Facebook Live, and then just in the comments section you can leave whatever that app if it comes to mind, and to do that. I think that one of the challenges that I have, maybe you can help me address this, because I've started keeping receipts, right? But the receipts, so they're all gas station receipts. So it asks, do I want one? I click yes. And then it prints out this flimsy little cheesy, tiny thermal paper receipt, and I jam it in the pocket where my keys are. And by the end of the day, Heather, it's wrinkled. It's
ripped.
Right. Is there? Do I take a picture of that and hope that the software can interpret that?
Well, I would say make it a habit to take a picture of it before you stick it in your pocket. But if you can't do that, because you got your phone with you all the time. But if you can't do that, then usually even with the picture, because those receipts fade as well. So, if you pick them up 4 months later, you may not be able to make out the dollar amount. There's always a way to actually type in next to the receipt the amount and what it's actually for. So even though your receipt may have that keyhole punctured in it, you'll still have that typed out record as well.
I bet Angel takes her pictures
right
away.
Don't start with me what Angel does and doesn't do. But it never even occurred to me to take a picture of it while it's fresh.
I bet you she does that.
Yeah. All right, Heather, give some contact information, if you will, please, for how do our listeners connect with you, and if they need some help with their own finances and education, where do they go?
The best place to find me is I'm on Facebook. My page is called The Money Library, or you can also connect with me on other forms of social media by hitting me up on www.heatherschooler, so my last name, school, ER, 360.com. So heatherschooler360.com.
heatherschooler360.com, where all of her connection information is available for you right there. I recognize that address and where it comes from. It's good stuff. Angel's down doing the Small Business Expo down in Dallas as we speak, Heather, and she misses you and says sorry that she couldn't be here for you. Give us a final word of advice when it comes to implementing technology in our businesses, if you will.
Well, I would definitely say if there's something that you want to do in terms of technology for your business, 9 times out of 10 now, there is an app for that. So before you try and do something like bookkeeping on your own, or before you try and do something like mileage or expense tracking on your own, search the Google Store, search the iTunes, search the App Store for your iPhone, and go there first before you try to do things manually on pen and paper anymore.
Boy, that makes
Who does that?
Yeah. Stop looking at me. Stop looking at me.
I bet Angel doesn't do that.
I bet Angel doesn't. This is becoming I bet Angel doesn't do that show.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
All right. Heather Schooler, heatherschooler360.com is where you get connected with Heather, the money librarian, and you want to make sure that you do, folks. She is a regular contributor host here on the Experience Pros radio show. And it's not rocket science, it's people science, and you knock it out of the park, Heather. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Folks, don't go anywhere. We will be back with Lynn Hurlburt. One more segment. We're going to wrap this thing up, put a bow on it. You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Network.